Hi, I'm Rachel Bulman,
Hi, I'm Jason Bulman.
and we're the Bulmans. We have not slept in a long time. It's not that bad, right?
No.
Are you tired?
No, it's fine. What's your name again?
So, I function really well on no sleep.
Here we go.
Okay, I don't know why
Here
that's
we
it.
go.
Why that is. I think maybe I don't know. There's so many reasons I could come up with. Jason does not function on no sleep. He even released my hand. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he let me go.
I'm pretty sure you pulled your hand away.
So
You excommunicated yourself.
this week has been a busy week. Yesterday we had our first day of indoor soccer for the kids. So Abigail, Gabriel, and Jeremiah are all playing indoor soccer right now.
And it's awesome.
Abigail,
She looked very cute.
she had this giant jersey on that I had to rubber band. She basically pranced around. And when she would catch us looking at her, she'd wave at us. It was so cute.
It's the best.
Or Gabriel's game was next.
Yep.
Gabriel did really
Yeah,
well.
he played amazing.
The best play that he did yesterday was an unintentional play. Kicked it against the wall. It rolled out from the opponents, and he was able to come back around and basically catch his own pass. And then he scored off of it. So, but his face after he scored off of it was pretty great. Like he was very surprised that he did that. And then Jeremiah was the last game yesterday.
He did good.
He
got
did really
4
well.
goals and
Yeah. But it was a great day. Then after that, we got to go over and celebrate with some friends. The baby did their first semi-road trip because it was over an hour long. They were
That's
in the car.
true. They slept the whole time.
They did. They had a great time.
And we had a great time.
It was their first party.
Long day.
Long day. But I think we're starting to get the swing of things,
We
you
are.
know?
We
We
are.
do lack sleep. That's to be expected. I don't remember this being, I don't think this is more than when we had one single newborn.
No.
It feels about the same.
Yeah, it feels about the same.
The babies finally slept more than like a 5 hour. They slept for 5 hours straight the other night. I woke up to check on them and make sure that they were okay. They were fine. And now the kids are all starting to get the hang of it too. You know, all of them are carrying them around. I think it freaks people out when they
It freaks me out.
It freaks Jason out.
It took me a little bit to get used to the idea of Jeremiah or Gabriel carrying one of the babies.
And Gemma, you know.
And Gemma, yeah, she does too. But they do a good job, and they're being super helpful.
Yeah, but we are still trying to learn to not be overwhelmed.
Yes.
Mostly Jason. I'm pretty not overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed too. So
Pretty sure that you just admitted that the
I
other
did.
day.
I get so overwhelmed. You know, there was a long time ago. I think we only had 3 babies at this point, and I was going into preterm labor, and I went to go see the OB, and he goes, you know, Rachel, you really have to slow down. You really need to just relax. And I said, sure. Okay, that sounds great. And he said, are you one of those people that vacuum your house several times a day? And I felt very attacked when he asked me that. And I told him maybe. And he said, well, you need to not vacuum your house several times a day. You need to learn to relax. And I think we all have this kind of false notion that in order for people to feel welcome, in order for there to be warmth and hospitality in a place, that it must be immaculate.
It's true. We have a couple friends that are about to have their baby. That sounded weird. So we have 2 couples. They're each pregnant, and
We haven't slept. Okay, good.
we're gonna have them over just to have some drinks, and the men will want to talk about some deep theological stuff, save the world, and all that. And
They did not succeed. They tried. Keep going.
and No, I mean, you were worried that
I was. I said, do I need to keep the kids inside?
mhm.
Do we need to get like special snacks?
Yeah.
This needs to be cleaned up. Those kind of things.
I mean, I get it because I'm the same way. I mean, we take turns in going into this mode of being frantic.
Thank God we're never in that same place together.
But in a moment of clarity and grace, I said, you know what? Don't worry about the kids. I mean, this house needs to be a school of family life and of leisure.
I mean, when he said that, whatever false burden that I had kind of contrived was let go. I think that we kind of let what we've been taught or what the world teaches us is the thing that should drive us to push us to do better. We let that direct us, direct our feelings, direct our motivations. And I had this false notion that, hey, like in order for these people to have a good time, for things to be productive, I have to basically give them a fake image of what our life is like. Let me make sure there are no toys here. I still even remember a young friend of mine asking me, like, what do you do with your toys when the kids aren't playing with the toys? And I was like, I leave them somewhere. And she said, well, I think I'm going to get this big IKEA bookcase and I'm going to put these boxes in the IKEA bookcase, and then no one's going to see the toys when the babies aren't playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that should last a really long time. No, that doesn't last a very long time because reality sets in. And I think that I had kind of given into that. And what really happens is that you start to realize that you've kind of made an enemy out of leisure. Like you're not able to rest because you're constantly trying to do something. I have to do these dishes and I have to go and make sure that everything is stocked and everything in its right place. And this counter is completely immaculate, like no one lives here.
It's true. And so your whole mindset gets shifted from, the people that you
Are being called to love.
And serve, and it's being hyper focused on whatever these tasks are, and then you just end up getting drowned and being overwhelmed by the multitude of tasks because it's true. The more children that you have, the bigger your family is, the more tasks there'll be. And what's ironic about it is it could, if you got bogged down in that, you'd become so overwhelmed that it'll devastate you, and then you'll have a moment of clarity. It's like, why am I letting myself get so overwhelmed by silly daily tasks?
I bet you, my friend, as you're watching this and hanging out with us for this 15 minutes, you've probably made some mental lists of the things that you have to get done. But instead, you're hanging out with us, with the Bulmans at their house. And we have to stop doing that. We have to be present with one another. So stop that. I mean, I'm exhausted thinking about what your list looks like. But there's this great quote. It's from a book called Leisure is the Basis of Culture. Joseph Pieper, fantastic philosopher, very dense. Just the forewarning.
But read the book.
Read the book. You got to read the book. But I'm going to totally butcher this quote. But he says in there that in order for there to be true leisure, that we have to be at peace within ourselves. But now we've made like an enemy of tasks and of work as a way to justify our existence.
Mm-hmm.
So we do things to justify our existence. So I could even say that maybe that night that I was trying to clean up the house, that I was hoping that my friends would come in and go, wow, Rachel has it all together. Like, Rachel, thank God you exist, Rachel. I mean, as silly as that sounds, that is really what I feel like we're all crying out for. Someone to say it's okay that I exist, that it's good that I exist. And that's not going to be found in making sure that the dishes are done. And it's not going to be found in making sure all the to-do boxes are checked off. But it's going to be found in just being able to rest and be okay with who you are, even in the chaos. We had a great conversation even with Jeremiah this morning. All right. When we went to church this morning, We all sang a Gregorian chant. There were flowers and birds singing outside. When we went outside, it was super peaceful. The kids were in a super, like, single file line. No, it wasn't like that. There was slight chaos.
I was gonna say, where was I?
When we were leaving the house, there was a lot of chaos, and we both were simultaneously losing it.
We're late to mass.
Yes.
And, so I had to go on a little bit of a diatribe about, on days we're preparing for Mass, we need to maybe not play with guns right before we leave.
And they're all getting mad at each other because...
Yes, and
frustrated. For whatever reason.
And so...
Well, you told them, we don't need to do all of those kind of things before Mass. We kind of need to be at a place of peace so that we can go and be present at Mass and participate in Mass, because if you don't, Mass will become boring if you try to make it a place of entertainment, because you're going there trying to get a use out of Mass when Mass is good in and of itself. You didn't say it like that, but you basically said we have to be willing to receive what's being given to us at Mass. And that comes from a place of peace. And then Jeremiah, who always, they always ask the best questions. And Jeremiah said, well, how do I do that when there's all these people around me? How do I find peace when there's all of this chaos?
Yeah. And so, that's right. It was a great opportunity to talk to him about the fact that people are not an obstacle, to your peace, to your ability to pray and engage in things. And I explained to them in the context of Mass, we're all there together as one body of people to worship together and to share communion together. And so as a group of people, we all have our eyes focused on Jesus. And so, if you need to, Jeremiah, I told him, you can close your eyes, since we are a lot of times overwhelmed by the busyness of life and all the distractions that are around us. So if you need to close your eyes in order to put yourself in that place, that's fine. A lot of people do that. But the reality is that nothing in this life is really against you. It's all for you, because it's been given to you by God.
People say these days, pro tip, right? Like you learn hacks about life on TikTok. But they say things like pro tip, but I don't think we're going to say that. I think we're going to call it an amateur tip. We have an amateur tip because we are literally novices in this life. And my amateur tip for you is that you have to find whatever place reminds you that it's okay to have dirty dishes, and it's okay to not have it all done, because none of us have it all together,
It's true.
I wish I could take this camera off the pedestal here and go and show you the craziness in the next room. I'm sure that there might be a diaper that I frantically changed that hasn't been thrown away yet, that there are children laying all over everything. No one utilizes seats correctly in this house, and there are plenty of dishes to be done, lots of laundry to be done. If you want to come by, you can help. But in the moments that gets really overwhelming, there was one day that Jason asked me, goes, you want to pray evening prayer with me? And I told him a long time ago, I said, there are many times I don't want to pray that with you, and I need to realize that I always should. Horrible to say those kind of things out loud, because now I have to do it. So he said, do you want to pray evening prayer with me? And I thought to myself, no, not at all. Like, there are so many things I need to do. And I said, sure, I'd love to pray evening prayer with you. So we sat down, and with every word that was being prayed, I was closing my eyes, and I was imagining myself with our Blessed Mother and with Christ, and them telling me, it's all gonna get done. You're where you're supposed to be. And so wherever that place is where you can say to yourself, like, it's all gonna get done, you're where you're supposed to be, that's the place that I hope that you find leisure today. Hopefully you found some leisure at the Bulman house, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Sorry
why
that
we're
the
here.
dishes aren't done. But we hope that you will come back and join us here again.
Join us as we embrace the chaos. It's beautiful. It's lovely.
There's not a lot of sleep here, but we're here.
We really are happy. This life is amazing.
We're so excited to continue sharing it with you. So hopefully come back next week. The dishes will still be unclean.
God bless you guys.
God bless.